Right now, the problem is that certain people from the family are a part of every boat because they don't have their boat. And I'm talking about youngsters because they are controlled by adults in the family and they're driven by adults in the family. And they are so misplaced in life and nobody's ready to accept their own mistake. You know? So they are so misplaced in life that they don't have a choice of choosing where to go. So they are with everybody. They don't have the personal immediate, like, for instance, if I talk about myself, I do not have my personal individual family. I have a family which is of my father's family, and I'm not talking about my grandfather's and ancestral family right now. I'm talking about my father's family, my dad's family, my two brothers and their wife and their kids. That is all that I have in my life. I do not have anybody of my own. I could say that I rest my shoulder on someone, and I uh, have my own child or have my own baby, for instance. And it's a very complex situation because many a times this happens that when even you're trying to fix things and you say that you should ask everyone's opinion, then this is a very juvenile kind of a question which is picked from kids in the family, that the infant is also very mature and you should ask the infant also. And I just felt like, oh my god, how can an infant answer? How do you expect an infant to really, the infant can only cry and be miserable and really show the reaction. But as an adult, sometimes you know what you want. You want to hold the baby and pacify and make him comfortable or whatever. That's something that you're doing as a well-being for the child, right? If the baby is on the bed and is probably crying, and there are two people who are wanting to take the baby is not going to any one of them, but it's continuously crying and it's been really hours, and it's crossing the limit of what is really good for the lungs. Somebody has to pick the child, right? If the child is continuously crying and not coming from the bed and saying that no, I don't, I'll cry on the bed but I'll not come in your arms, you have to pick the baby in your arms, whether the no matter how much the child is crying, right? You have to hold the child and make distract and do all sorts of things. So it becomes very difficult to make every age group understand this, because their mental level is like, they'll think critical and they'll think like, this is the question which is coming exactly like a question which probably came in Three Idiots. Why the astronauts did not use the pencil? They could have saved a lot of money. Sorry, the pencil, sorry, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, why didn't the astronaut use the pencil? It could have saved a lot of money. And that time the dean did not have the answer, but he came up with the answer. By the end, the pencil nib would have been broken and it would be circulating all over the galaxy, and this would have been uh, not a very good sign. So people don't understand that it's not necessary that someone who is at a certain learned and educated age might have all the answers for you, but there is an answer for everything which was there. you know uh, I think it's important to understand this, because and we all have the answers. It's just this, that we have our limitations where we do not know the answer. Like the dean did not had the answer because for the astronaut level, because that was his limitation. And the children today question because they don't have the answers. So instead of pinpointing people for not having answers, try to see things as their limitation, that this person's limitation is still here, that's why he doesn't have the answer. Today I have a lot of elaborated answers, but if somebody is going to question me something from physics, science and chemistry, or maybe algebra, I might not have an answer because I've not completed that age of school. I've not completed those subjects. I might not have the answer for that. But I have completed the studies from a different league, from uh, a different platform, and I have answers for those. I have gone through different experiences of life and I have answers for those. I do not have answers for what book has questions about. Okay, answer me, solve this algebra problem, solve this, you know, not that I cannot, I can. I have to invest my, like today, I'm investing my time in uh, learning dance because I want to learn dance. I don't, and it's not that I don't see the value of not studying, I do see the value. But I just feel that passing all the years now and where I've reached in life, I just feel like whenever there's a need that comes for a subject in my life and I need to solve this, I start studying it. That okay, let's pick up the subject and try to understand why, try to understand the cause. This is what is something that actually defines everyone, each one of us. That we are all parallel to each other. We all just have our limitations. And I think we should respect each other's limitations rather than making fun of it, rather than finding incompetence in somebody and finding faults in somebody and saying that, you are not capable. That is not the right way to look at somebody, that you're not capable. It's just the limitation. It's just the limitation. So this is what I feel. And now the new trend is coming that somebody is making money out of your medical treatment. To be honest, I feel somebody telling me that from a doctor's family is very surprising, very surprising. And now probably whatever their situation is in life, I don't know how they feel about it, but then you analyze the whole situation and you feel it's basically you're landing up in a position in life where you're trying to understand who's right and who's wrong. Whether Munna Bhai is right or the principal is right. And then you go back to the history and then you feel that if that would have not happened, then today Munna Bhai would have not been there. He would have been there as a part of all the students. And what is that history? That history is when ethically somebody goes wrong with handling their own position, what they are given. When you use it for a different purpose, you are hired as a security guard, you should do your job as a security guard, barring what your religion is saying, barring what your beliefs are, barring what everything is. You were paid to do your job that moment, but you came in the tempt of having more than what you were receiving as a salary. And that is something which created a gangster. That is something which created a wrong face of an extremism. And it all took away everything which would have been peaceful. It should have been pacifying and easy for everyone to live with it. So, understanding of this is important. People take it as slavery. Like, why should I do your job? I'm not your slave. The nation belongs to me. Gandhi was a very small man. Gandhi was a small man. He took a charge, became an advocate, traveled to places, fighting for the independence of the people, for the good causes. There was nowhere written that he is fighting for someone as individually as a small person or a broken person. He was fighting for everyone in general. There was nowhere written that he was individually supporting Muslims or he was individually supporting Hindus. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. He was an educated person. An educated person would not fight for this meager little things, right? If he's an educated to the level of being an advocate, will definitely not fight for a meager little things, right? So let's just really understand, stop making things out of it because of his position in life. Maybe he was not financially very well off at that point of time, or maybe he lived a very standard life because that was his choice to live a standard life, right? Everyone has their choice. He chose to be, that was his personal beliefs or whatever. That was his way of going ahead in life, which makes symbolic. Not wearing clothing on top and just wearing a dhoti made a symbolic face for the nation India, because that's how Indians are seen. Indians are seen without clothes. Indians are seen people who are pettied on. Indians are seen people who are miserable. And that is the core reason that despite being an advocate, he was chosen as the face of India on the national currency. So, no matter what you philosophical education you give to this concept, that oh no, that's not the case. The case is this: he believed in the fact that you should wear only amount of clothes which are necessary for the body. That's crap. I don't know who invented it, but that's crap. And even if he invented it, I'm so sorry, I don't believe in this. Everybody has their personal choices how they want to treat their own body. Okay, you cannot fix this. It is a personal choice. It's my choice how much I want to cover my body and how much I don't want to cover my body. There is no extremism about it. And there's no philosophical belief on this. That's all.